Today we're going to discuss internet user growth in India and wrap it up with a few thoughts about the 800-pound bear in the room, Apple. Internet user growth in India has exploded. There are now over 500 million internet users in India. Of course, India is the second largest internet market in the world now, behind China. And the user growth has been pretty significant over the last 2 years, which coincidentally aligns with the launch of Reliance's Jio network across the country. The last couple of months, Jio has been adding users faster than other telcos in India. Jio has changed the way phone calls, roaming, and data are priced across the country, and they've made incumbent leaders like Airtel and Vodafone rethink their offerings, and in some cases lower their prices as well to compete. I can't really say that the service quality has improved for companies like Airtel and Vodafone. If you go on Twitter, you'll see a lot of people complaining about Airtel and Vodafone. I haven't really looked at Twitter and people complaining about Jio, so I don't really want to say that one is worse than the other, at least on Twitter. That being said, only 40% of the Indian population is online right now. Hence, I think there's a lot of room for growth. In the U.S., we had about 40% of the population online in 2005, right? And if we look at how things have changed over the last 13, 14 years in the U.S. and the number of people that have come online, the type of businesses that have been created over the last 15 years, right? Like Spotify didn't exist 15 years ago. Uber didn't exist 15 years ago. The iPhone didn't exist 15 years ago. No Android phones existed 15 years ago. If we just look at all of these things, they were all enabled after we saw this massive growth in internet population within the country. And when I look at this 40% number, I don't know when China hit 40%. The number of massive internet companies that have been created out of China has really been in the last 8 to 10 years. Prior to that, no one was talking about Tencent or Alibaba, right? All these guys were talking about Baidu because it was listed on the New York Stock Exchange, but no one was really talking about Alibaba and Tencent 10 years ago. So I think this 40% number is an important number to keep track of and now see what are we going to see over the next 10 years out of India. Internet companies, internet usage, mobile banking, fintech companies are raising money left and right. They're doing amazing things. With India's UPI initiative, that has really changed the way payments are made across the country. It's really quick and easy and cheap to pay somebody now. I just think it's a fascinating number to keep in mind. 500 million users is a lot of users. India, of course, has the lowest data and phone rates in the world. It's going to be interesting to keep track of that market, and I think this is a really bullish signal for startups over the next 10 years and what they're going to be able to do in India.
Absolutely. I think the number to watch out for, 50% of India's population is under the age of 33.
Yeah.
I think that's it, statistics. And if you look at that's almost, 650 million people, right? So if we just wait for that number, I think that's going to keep on going up in terms of India, in terms of population, it's not going to slow down. Secondly, if you look at the NGOs, the type of work they're doing, that internet is going to remote villages. So I see bandwidth is still a challenge for this country. I think India has nothing but growth rate in that sector.
Yeah.
I think numbers are going to continue to go up.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Let's hope for the best and let's watch this closely.
No, this is definitely, internet growth is going to, I think, amplify India and new businesses in India.
Yeah.